So you might be wondering how streamers or content creators seem to always get bot lobbies. Well, today we're going to be showing you guys how to get bot lobbies, what SBMM is, and how SBMM is determined. Now in this video, we're going to be showing you guys some bot lobbies that I personally got myself into, how to do it, and what you guys need to know. First off, we have to start with what SBMM actually is. So for those of you guys that don't know, SBMM stands for score-based matchmaking. Now to break down how SBMM is calculated, there's a bunch of different factors that actually go into it. So for example, it takes into account your 10 most recent matches, your overall KD, whether you're on console or PlayStation or Xbox, also what your average score is, and then there's people like myself that even believe it takes into account your overall accuracy percentage or even how many actions or buttons you press during a game. So basically, by using all of this data for Call of Duty in their SBMM algorithm, they're trying to enable and just basically keep players on the game as long as possible. To give you guys an example of how this might work, say they give you a lobby, for instance, that has a 0.85 overall average KD, right? So you might have fun in that lobby. Then the next 5 lobbies in a row might be a 1.2 KD or higher for the average for all those games. So that way you play one easy game you're having a lot of fun with, and then all of a sudden it's really hard, but you're hoping to get back to that awesome lobby you had when you first got on. Now the effect that will have for most people is that your first lobby was great and you had a lot of fun. You're almost going to be chasing the rush that you had on that first lobby while you play another 5 or 6, hopefully trying to get another bot lobby so you can actually enjoy the game again. So to make it as simple as possible, they always try to put players around the same skill level in the same lobby together while occasionally rotating it. So typically they'll have bad players against bad players and good players against good players. They'll cycle them back and forth once in a while in hopes to keep people on as long as possible. Now that we understand the basics of how Call of Duty's matchmaking works, it's time to understand how people are getting around it. To begin with that, the first thing that we have to answer is, what is a VPN? Well, to keep it simple, it stands for Virtual Private Network. You can call it a service or an app. It basically can hide your IP address, it can hide your location or protect your location, or it can also mask yourself as being in a different location. The reason this is useful in COD is because you can change your location, and by changing your location you can actually affect score-based matchmaking and making it work in your favor. This video today is on a special type of VPN that actually does just that. Now you've probably already heard of it, but today's video is actually sponsored by a great company called Lobby God. Lobby God is special for a few reasons. Unlike other similar services, it actually doesn't increase your ping or your lag at all, and it basically allows you to actually still play in the region that you're trying to play from, even though it's pinging from a completely different area. To make it simpler, what COD's SBMM is seeing is that you're trying to play far away with a high ping, but in reality you're playing where you normally play with a very low ping, so it's basically going to alter the SBMM in your favor. If you didn't know, playing on a high ping can drastically affect your lobbies in terms of the SBMM, so when it sees that you're playing from a high ping, your lobby's going to get a lot better. One of the reasons I actually love to recommend Lobby God is because not only does it work for PC, but it's one of the few VPNs out there that also works for consoles as well. Also, it has a huge bonus where it's a free 3-day trial, and you don't even need to put a credit card in. You can just sign up with your email and try it out for yourself. It's actually super simple to set up, and it only takes a couple minutes. All you need to do is click on the link in the description to actually get going. The first thing you're going to do after you're all signed up, it's actually going to prompt you with DNS settings. Now, depending on whether you're a PC or console, you just want to go and plug those in. Also, just wanted to mention too, if you're ever having problems or you need help, Lobby God has extensive guides and they have a support system as well in case you guys have any questions about anything. After you've set your DNS settings, you're going to want to make sure that the game isn't open, and then you go to Lobby God, and then you're going to pick what server you want to actually ping from. After you selected a location, you can go then hop on the game, and then if you want to make sure it's working, go to your network settings on the game, and then it should show you the server that you chose to ping from on Lobby God. So when you're queuing for a lobby, it's going to be basically taking what your high ping is and essentially trying to match it with lower ranked matches than you would normally play. Now, just keep in mind, this is going to take a little bit longer than a general matchmaking just because you have so many more factors and your ping being so much higher. So it will take a little bit longer to find you a match, but more times than not, the matches will be a lot easier than they were before. I'm going to mention a few best practices to help you guys get more bot lobbies more often, but just keep in mind, just because that you're using this service doesn't mean you're going to get bot lobbies every single game. It's just going to make them more likely to occur. One of the first things I want to mention to you guys is try to keep track of what servers work best for you. So say you typically get on around 4 p.m. Eastern, that's the time that you play. What you want to do is you want to check different servers at that time and see what servers generally work best for you, so you know to check those and use those first in the future. Now, another method that's really popular and that a lot of people use and find success with is you want to look for lobbies that, if whatever country you're pinging from, you want to look for late at night all the way up to early in the morning when least amount of people are actually on that game playing, and that should give you the best odds as well in terms of finding better lobbies. In my opinion, that should give you the best odds to get bot lobbies. Now guys, remember, if it doesn't seem to be working, you want to make sure you're trying different servers and also checking when you're on the game that it's registering that you're actually switched to those servers as well. Now, just for anyone's peace of mind, I've been trying VPNs on and off the last couple of months just to see how I notice the differences and what works best for me. For myself, I tend to actually use them off stream just because it takes a little bit longer to lobby search and to find games, because it is trying to find you that lower SBMM lobby that you're looking for, so it does take a little bit longer. Another important thing I wanted to mention, I know a lot of people are worried about Activision's or Call of Duty's terms of services in terms of using VPNs and whatnot. I personally have never been shadow banned. I've tested out VPNs over the last few months. I've never had an issue. I also have plenty of other friends that are content creators and streamers that also haven't had an issue either. So I hope that helps you guys as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the breakdown of SBMM and Lobby God. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Lobby God has tons of resources too if you guys have any questions. But otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Let's go.